my Aquarius babies, what's happening? Guess what? It is that time once again for your monthly. We are doing November 2020. This is EJ from Taurota Tarot. I hope that everybody had a good weekend. Hope you got some decent plans for the Halloween. Well, I can say this about Aquarius. Y'all have been going through some shit. Some emotional shit. And primarily that's been due to just the stack up of retrograde energy, Mars retrograde, Mercury retrograde. Some of you may be encountering some past experiences, maybe that weren't so good when they were current, and trying to deal emotionally, look at your part at stuff, look at other people's part at stuff, and just see kind of where everything is. May have had some very emotional past experiences come up. So y'all are, that shit right there, Nine of Swords, your energy all day, just kind of emotional. It's causing you some anxiety. It's like an emotional burden, trying to relive some of the things that you may have encountered from exes or just old shit all the way around. So we're going to do like we did last month for this month, 2 rows, first week, second week, and then I'll push these up and do the third and the fourth week. A reminder, I do my cards straight up. I don't do reversals, and I'm trying to turn the hangman around. There you go. But y'all are going through a transition right now. Maybe some of y'all are unaware of that. 7 of Pentacles. This is really what it's about. Creating something that's going to last. And so many of you, even though that's pentacles and coins, it's a heavy energy for y'all because y'all are air. Y'all are used to just being everywhere and doing your thing. And for whatever is going on, this has just kind of got you in your head, if you will, looking at hidden causes of why things happen, why people acted the way that they acted, trying to seek out the true nature. Because you ultimately, I mean, shit, everybody trying to get here. What the hell? And this is with or without a partner, this is really where you're trying to be. You're trying to do a step up. But you're looking at everything around you. And you may be beginning to see, this is in your overall energy, the true nature of the things that are going on around you. Maybe people that you thought really had your back. They ain't shit, they ain't got your back, they ain't got nothing. That part right there. With the 7 of Pentacles and then the 7 of Wands, it's that negotiating type energy. You're trying to make peace with complicated shit. Trying to make peace with yourself. Trying not to be overly pissed off at the people that you think might have bucked you off, that part. Trying to get into a level of detachment. That right there. Which is more to your liking as an Aquarian, because that's how y'all operate. You put space between you and emotional things, and that's kind of how y'all flow. And that's not a good or a bad thing. That's just how y'all go. And so to be, we're just looking, it's so funny, the cards just don't lie. In this Mercury retrograde energy, looking behind you, just shit behind you, everything behind you, behind you. What the hell? Even this up here. So, looking at the past, you see all that dark on top of this heavy ass pentacle, but you got to look at your past to see where and how you can create anything of lasting value, whether with yourself or with someone else. And so that's your challenge, to kind of, it is a form of negotiation, really. You're trying to barter with yourself what you want and what you need in your life versus, again, some of the people you may have thought had your back, what they wanted, what they needed, and looking at situations that maybe you can come back to. Even for some of you, this may be work related. You may be in a situation where you're trying to create a business or get a promotion in your current company, and you're trying to create things that are going to last, systems and processes, but you know, it's like you throw stuff out there and people throw it back, and people say they're going to help you, and then they're not there to help you, and you're kind of looking at all of this and going, okay, it's no good. It's traumatic, to say the least. This is on the front end of your overall energy. The Tower sitting up on top of the Nine of Swords. It's an emotional burden. Y'all are feeling that right now. All this heavy ass energy floating around. And it's causing you a great deal of anxiety. Some of you may just be sidelined for the time being because you cannot, it's just so much, it's just making you anxious. And for those of you that you are in situations, you may feel confined. I'm looking at them swords all crossed up on the wall. That has a real energy of just, you can't move. It's stagnating you. All of that, creating anxiety, wreaking havoc. But again, you're going to see the hidden causes. You're going to see if you have already started down this path. Some of you may already be beginning to feel this. You're beginning to see what's making people tick. How come they're telling you one thing and doing something else? And why you feel like you got to be negotiating, renegotiating on things that are important to you, again, trying to create some lasting value. On the back end of this could be about a relationship. It could be about a partnership, business partnership. But there are misunderstandings. That's a knot in this. There's some things, and you feel this. It's just not untangled, if you will. So it's kind of everything up in the air, blurred out. But again, you're beginning, this is going to cause you to see the true nature of people while you're trying to understand what's really going on. You'll begin to see the true nature of the people that are around you. The first week, which starts out Sunday, actually, November 1st, looking at the Seven of Swords with the love on it, some of you may be dealing with a younger person, male or female, however that's going. And they may have some conversation for you at the beginning of the month. But be mindful of any kind of deceitful, anything that's got your hackles up. They may not be telling you the truth. That part right there. So just be mindful of this. This is probably a younger person, for sure. Younger than you, by a year, by 10 years, however that goes. And they may just, hey, how you doing? Full of shit the whole way. Be mindful of that, because that might not be your first impression of what you're hearing. It might sound like, oh, everything is great. But definitely that is sitting on top of the Seven of Swords. Just people around you may also be around this person. They ain't coming with the truth. So keep your eyes open to that. With the Ten of Cups and the Mighty King, but we don't have the front end of the king. We got the ass end of the king. The connections that you're having, or the connections that you have, you may want to detach, and you may want to do just that. Turn your back on the situation and do some thinking. How maybe you can bring some order to whatever's going on. Again, you're a very intellectual sign, so you don't like things as free-minded as you are. You don't like things out of order. We'll figure that part out. So there may be some connections that just may feel like they need this part brought, but you may have to just turn your back on the situation and get some perspective. There's a note here about change. Now this is warning to not to forget to embrace change. The energy is really saying pay attention to the change while you're detaching. Watch how people change. When they notice that you're kind of stepping back, just pay attention to that. Some of your connections, some of your personal connections may get a bit discombobulated. Do your best to communicate to people that are closest to you what you're going through, how you're feeling. whatever worries or concerns you may have about changing. If they in your corner, they will get this and understand this, and your connection to them should be solid. People, though, kind of coming back here with the drama, people that are going to balk at you doing this, pay attention. Pay attention. With the Fool and the Four of Pentacles sitting on top of that, again, like I was saying earlier, you might be feeling stagnated. You may be feeling almost to the point where you want to turn your back. Now, the front of this is about balance, but right here, you want to turn your back because you are looking for people that are loyal. If you get into a situation or you're in a situation where you feel like it's stagnating you, and also the people involved are not being loyal, let that be the word. Let that be the word. It might be time for you to permanently just turn your back on the situation completely. Nobody wants to feel like they're stuck and they can't move, they can't grow. Once again, where's those swords up there on that wall, just blocked in? They got that one, those 8 swords have that one sword, can't go nowhere. Be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. And this harkens to this, the hidden causes. You may begin to see why people aren't being loyal, or why they don't understand why you feel like you're in a rut, that whole thing. If this is work related, be careful about your words and your deeds, not being thoughtless or reckless. Just be mindful of that. Sometimes when we feel like we're stuck, we just want to tear up some shit because there ain't shit else to do because you're stuck. Don't do it. Don't. Just be mindful of who you're dealing with. If it's professional, just be mindful of that part. The second week, the Ace of Wands on top of the Temperance, you still want to be feeling this anxiety. About control. And some of you may feel like you've lost any kind of control, especially in your sexual relationships. Yep, I said sex. I did. But some of you may be feeling like you're just losing, if this were upside down, you're just losing control. And you may need to, again, check out what's changing, observe what's changing, and try and figure out where you can, if you're trying, this is something you're trying to do, find your balance. If you find that trying to find your balance in this situation is not getting it and it's causing you more anxiety than it's worth, many of you may just do just this: avert your eyes, avert your body, and turn all the way around. The front of this is about a limited vision. This is about averting, looking away. You may just decide you can't. There may be some power struggles causing some stress, jealousy. It's a whole litany of things that goes with this. So let me stop here and say, November is not going to be easier than October. If you thought wrong. Matter of fact, November might be more invasive and intrusive because it's making you deal with things that maybe you aren't ready to deal with, or maybe that you thought you didn't need to deal with especially with certain people. Stagnation. You may just be just right here, just stuck. And then all the rest of this just kind of comes out. There may be control issues. Somebody's trying to control you with sex. It happens all the doggone time. It ain't nothing new. Be mindful. Be mindful. Some of you may just need to hear that you need to open your eyes and really look at situations for what they're worth. And if you need to turn your attention away from certain things, again, we're talking about long-term rewards here too. Bring you back here, to creating lasting value in some of those power struggles. You may need to let whoever, if this is about a particular person, for whoever this is resonating with, you may need to let this person go. I'm going to just throw that shit up against the wall and see if it's going to stick. It may be a water sign that you're dealing with, a Pisces, a Cancer, a Scorpio. And they may be, it feels like for some of you, they may just be trying to put your shit on lock. They're trying to lock you down, control you from one end to the other. That right there. In the back of that, power, command, and authority. But see, this is on the back of this. Again, a lot of hidden causes, unforeseen events, for what that's worth. That kind of shit. People just acting out things that you're not aware of. But for those of you that I'm speaking about a particular person in your experience, it may be time. It may be time. Planning. But with the Hangman, transition and waiting. It may be time to just step away from certain situations that are making you feel, and for some of you, it feels like whatever this particular thing is, you may have thought this person was just great, you gobs great, and they weren't going to have you feeling all locked down, and you could just kind of be free to do you and do your thing. And then at the end of this, you're beginning to find out they got all these backstories and hidden causes, misunderstandings, causing you a whole lot of grief and anxiety, and it's not helping you get what you're trying to get. Something with lasting value. So Aquarius, it may be time to go back and revisit some of the maybe people, places, and things that you walked away from initially, thinking that they were going to have you in this situation. And what you may find is that the people that you thought were going to try and have you on lockdown actually aren't about that at all. Just depends on your particular situation. It can also resonate with work as well. Yeah, talking about missed opportunities. What the hell? Yeah, 5 of Cups. So yeah, and the Chariot. So some of you are going to move out of the situation that you're in completely. And head for greener pastures. I don't know how else to say that shit. You got the Chariot? You got the back and the front end of the Chariot. There you go. Clearing up misunderstandings. Yeah. That's where we are. So we're looking at the third week, the 2 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. So that's definitely resonating with a relationship. And it's just going to be bitter. For some of you, this is just going to be bitter. If you look at this top card, even though it's the dark side of the card, I'll say, which then leads me to know that this has got a lot to do with the internal workings of the relationship. You may have to walk away from this. You may realize, same thing I just said, that you've missed some opportunities messing around with whoever this is. And it's almost as if, I want to say, whoever this is thought that they could control the situation. They had a narrow view. That on the side. And there's gonna be some bitter shit. There's gonna be some shit said. It's gonna be some hurt feelings. But maybe this is gonna be what's best. It's gonna be some uncertainty because you're dealing again with that shit you really don't like to deal with. Kind of negotiating with yourself about your emotional well-being and what's gonna be good for you. Looking at this side may have been the beginning of what seemed like a good little pairing up here. And both of y'all could just kind of, chill and do your thing. But it has gotten you here. Trying to deal with your fears, the uncertainty, the resistance even that this person may be putting up about you, trying to do you. And insecurities, I'm hearing that all over the place. So the person you may be dealing with may be insecure, well, damn it, unhappy and unequal. So I know when I was growing up, my grandmama and them used to be talking about, you got to be equally yoked. Go to church and read the Bible, talking about being equally yoked. But there's real wisdom in that. Being with someone who maybe is not like you, but they can understand things that you do without putting any kind of restriction on you being you. All of that, change of perspective. Once again, we're looking at the ass end of another card. This is a Chariot. And fuck it. This is about you planning your escape. Some of you, this may be work, but the planning is, just as plain as that. This is you planning your escape. All of this may be causing, ultimately, a lack of passion from you. Because, again, you're trying to create something that's going to last, something that's going to have some value. Again, turning your back on what's going on and bringing it back to this. So it may be well that you've got to walk away from a situation. For some of you, it says radical down there. Y'all might be running. I'm just saying. Trying to get the hell up out. That's the third week. We look at the fourth week. The Page of Pentacles. The front of this is about optimism, but the back of this is about the initiative. You've got to have some initiative to get past this point. Of course, getting past this point is going to be obviously Five of Cups. We're talking about change, loss, and disappointment with the fuck. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is a disappointment. If this is a job we're speaking of, you're just disappointed because you had bigger expectations, and for whatever reason, people didn't follow through on what they said they were going to. They made changes, didn't tell you, or just expected you to maybe jump in. So there's going to be a feeling of loss here because you had big expectations. If this is a relationship, you already know. Get your Kleenex ready. But you're going to need to take the initiative to get yourself out of this. Which then we step right on over to the Chariot. But you're going to have to come out of this feeling of being overwhelmed to actually experience the freedom of walking away. I'm going to say that one more time. You're going to have to get over this feeling of being overwhelmed to experience the freedom of walking away. Because if you are as stressed out as I feel like you are right now, and you walk away, it's just going to be like, fuck. And you're not, the initiative, once again, you're not going to have the momentum there to move out of it. Because you're going to be just fucking overwhelmed with a bunch of emotional shit. That is not what you're trying to do. So you may, in order to not feel overwhelmed, you may need to clear up misunderstandings. Now, what I like about this card, yes, it's about misunderstandings, but they're wands. This is action, fire. And then they got nerve enough to have little spriglets at the end. So in you doing this, in you walking away, clearing up whatever misunderstandings, lightening your load, if you will, if you're feeling overwhelmed, just piled on. Clear up the misunderstandings. And just as surely as they look like projectiles headed in some direction, that's exactly what they are. And guess what? The little spriglets are still there. So when you come out of this, even though you're tossed around the word power struggle, or the phrase power struggle, finding balance, being constricted, you have to clear all that shit up. So when you do walk away, you're not carrying all that excess baggage with you. The growth will be there naturally if you can walk away without a whole lot of extra garbage. For some of you, if this is I don't want to just say a sexual relationship, but a friends with benefit kind of situation, for some of you walking away from this, you may not realize until you start walking away the freedom that you were actually taking away from yourself. I know that sounds all kind of fucked up. But if you're looking for a committed relationship, being in a booty call relationship is restrictive. Whether people don't realize that, but it can be restrictive because it's you just putting something in a box and you're not letting it grow. You're not letting it just this is all we're doing. And that for some of you, not everybody, but for some of you, that may be where the misunderstandings are coming from. Because you're just doing this and you're not doing anything else. And you may have missed an opportunity with that same person to move further ahead because you just wanted to have just fucking friends with benefits relationship, not realizing how much you were cutting yourself off. I'll be damned. It's something of lasting value. So this one's gonna hurt, Aquarius. I'm sorry, I hate to be the booger with the bad news, but yeah. But ultimately, again, I'm looking at the growth. So for every situation, there's growth. When we get to the end of the month, with the Five of Swords on top of the Eight of Cups, it's just what the fuck I'm saying. The fear and the crisis, yeah, you're going to feel all that. But ultimately, leaving the past behind. Roll out, deuces, I'm out. For some of you, this might mean a fresh start. Flip that card around. Now, for some of you, it may be about going back to an older situation and seeing if there's maybe an opportunity there that wasn't missed. I feel like for some of you, though, this is going to sting because you're going to find out the person or the place you should have been with or been at has moved on. So this is going to sting. This is going to sting. That you're in the middle of Scorpio season. Ain't no mistake on that shit right there. It's going to sting. And I hate to say that. But you're not happy in this mix. You're not happy here. You're trying to find balance. You're trying to negotiate with yourself about how you feel about certain things and about how people play into that. Some of the people that you put your faith and your trust in have just done everything but turn their ass up to you and told you to kiss their ass. And you're feeling hurt. There's anxiety with that. There's all kind of shit that goes with that. But you need to step away from it. If you can't see a good way past whatever's going on, take it for what it's worth. Fuck it. Let it blow up. Move on. Cut your losses and keep it moving. Hard, cold, and fast, yes. Honest, yes. Painful, yes. Some of you may be feeling like you've lost time because you've been fucking around with some fucker that don't give a fuck. That's what it boils down to. That's the gamble we take. I still say, Aquarius, you were looking for this. You were looking for this. Trying to get here. But the lesson here is seeing the true nature. All that look good ain't good. Just saying. I don't know who this is for, but there it is. Oh, let's see what the fuck fear. It will lie to your face. That part. And some of you may be fearful. I feel that. Because you're not understanding maybe what's going on currently with your situation. And to move away from it into just the utter unknown may just scare the fuck out of you. I get that. But fuck it. 2 tears in a bucket. Move it. Move it. You can't stay in this situation. It will break you, Aquarius. It will hurt you more. The longer you stay, it's going to hurt. I'm looking at this Eight of Cups, talking about not being satisfied. Just saying. I'm just saying. That project, that person, that idea is waiting. Get after that shit. Y'all heard me? That project, that person, that idea is waiting. Get after that shit. The world is waiting. So if you trying to understand, leave this, because there's better. Don't forget my little spriglets. It's all about growth. It's always, 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 always about growth. Get the fuck out of your head. Get in your heart. It misses you. Get the fuck out of your head. Get in your heart. It misses you. So I have a feeling some of y'all walked away from somebody that you really, 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 really cared about. Almost to the point of saying really, really loved. And you got up in your head and overthought, overanalyzed, and made a decision that wasn't good for you. And so now your heart is just feeling it. I hear you, Aquarius. I hear y'all swiping left and right and shit. I hear you. It's life. Take what belongs to you, leave the rest. Know that the universe has your back. And move on to the next thing. I like these cards. They have so much to say. So, magic prayer. That's that prayer in your heart. What you really want, what you really want to create, that lasting value thing. Say that magic prayer. If you don't know what it is, write one for you. Whatever it is, so you can begin attracting the right kind of people and situations into your experience. Bone collector. What the hell is a bone collector? Bone collector is just that. Somebody that collects the bones. You can collect the bones, but you ain't got to just stay stuck up in there. And for some of you, that's where some of the anxiety is coming from, because you feel like you're collecting all this bullshit. And even though there's wisdom here, and there's knowledge here, sometimes too much wisdom, air sign, all up in your head, can have you just sitting looking at the damn bones. You can be a bone collector, but you ain't got to be stuck up under the damn bones. Keep it moving. Take what you need to learn from this situation. Move ahead. Know that there's encouragement. Reach out to your friends that you maybe have been away from for a while, because you've been dealing with this. And just kind of bring yourself back into the fold. That will go a long way with helping with the ouchie and the ooey. Aquarius, I love you. You know I do. I'm going to be praying for you in the month of November. Hope that y'all get through this without too many scars, knowing that you can move ahead and have something better. I love y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.